blah, 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 blah.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, you've heard the phrase, thank God it's Friday. Well, this is a seriously good Friday. Now, as many of you know, we do a lot of interviews. And prior to the interviews, I like to get together with our guests for about 15 minutes to talk about what we're going to talk about so that you get more information and you're better entertained. And I think we started talking 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely.
And you're going to find out exactly why. Let me introduce our guests to you. First, Mark Wood. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
And Peter Nelson. Now, I'm being particularly vague because I want each one of these gentlemen to tell you why they're here. I'm going to start with you. And let's just say the three initials TSO is about as much of an introduction as I want to give. So would you tell our viewers, please, what TSO means?
Absolutely. Well, I'm one of the founding members of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
That's incredible.
And there's nothing like playing classical music to a heavy metal groove.
Yes, that's right.
I'm all for that.
Now, this is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I think I first saw this orchestra 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a number of years, right?
Yeah, I've been up about 20 years. It's been incredible.
We have another subject that we want to talk about, but what's it like? What's this career been like for you?
I'm very blessed, Juilliard trained, and then I got a record deal along with Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. We were friends in Long Island, and being a violin player was different than a guitar player.
Yes, that's right.
So I had a chance to bump into Randy Rhoads and be in a great area in the 80s where metal and rock playing were virtuosos, so I fit in perfectly. And then I graduated to film scoring, and then I graduated to a relationship with Celine Dion, toured with her and Billy Joel, do string arrangements for both of them, and then we started to form the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and then it catapulted, and now we're doing a wonderful outreach to kids and education.
Right. Yes, that's right, and that's what we're going to talk about. Hey, Peter, let's get you in here.
Thanks.
First, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice
Great
to have
be
you
here.
Tell us about Friends of Music.
Sure. We are a Saratoga Springs school district-wide booster club specifically for music. It was started probably about 8 years ago, and it had a good run, and then it went a little bit dormant. And I was talking with Milt Lee, who's the director of our music department here, and I volunteered to get it back going again. Both of my girls have been involved with music. I'm a graduate of the Crane School of Music in 1983. And you know, it's just a great way to keep not just the arts alive in education, because we all know that music makes kids smarter. It keeps them engaged, involved, and it gets them in touch with this creative side that is really important. And then as a hiring manager over at Informs, we're a digital marketing company just a block or so away,
Right.
I want to find people who are creative, problem solvers, that can collaborate, that can take mental models and shift them, because that's really where we're going to get innovation and technology. And I know that the way to do that is through music. So if we can help even just a few kids at our elementary, middle school, or high school area to get that fire in their belly and to look for that discovery just unfolding because of music, then I'm going to be a very, very happy guy. So.
Oh my God! You know, part of the reason that we were talking I swear to God, we talked for a couple of hours before we did this interview. Is I was fortunate. I was involved in a program at VH1 called Save the Music, and I remember at the time, and the three of us were just having a great conversation about the linkage between allowing a young person to experience the disciplines, the inspiration, the emotional attachment to learning how to play an instrument, but what that does to science and what that does to math, because of the way it starts to make their mind work, and the sense of self-esteem. Wouldn't you second that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that whole performance element, that a child can put together a coherent sentence. We had a good conversation about that yesterday. They can stand in front of a group, whether it's a boardroom or investors or donors, and can get their point together in a really passionate and audience-aware way. That's huge.
Now, you track this guy down. And you managed to get him to come up here, which was clearly quite a feat. We're really grateful that you did this.
Well, it's, you know,
and why? How's he tied into Friends of Music?
Well, Mark's organization, which the Electrify Strings program, had been working with Saratoga Springs about 3 or 4 years ago. And Brooke Vincent, who's our orchestra leader there, kind of made that connection for us and got him going. And then I was the lead parent volunteer.
Great.
And I said, this is a this is a great program. This is a pretty cool guy. We grew up not too far from each other on Long Island, and I just said, I gotta get in there and learn more about this. And we're helping out again this year for a concert on Saturday at 4 o'clock and 7:30. And yeah, we're just there to support the school program and make sure we get wonderful, motivating artists like Mark to come in and inspire the kids and the community.
Right. Now, Mark is here because you do these workshops around the country, correct?
Yes.
Give us a sense of what you did here in Saratoga. You came in a couple of days prior, right?
Yes, and we rehearsed them with the sole motivation to connect with a listener, whether it's one person or 50,000 people. So we removed the chairs. We get them to get away from the printed music and the music stands and look directly at their audience in their eyes and play music so that there's a communication skill that's developed that's not verbal. And I think that's a beautiful thing when I tour Europe where we can't speak the same language, but we can play music together.
What, the universal language, right?
And it's a beautiful thing to show kids that there's many levels of communication, not just verbal. And we know that the verbal language is very limited when it comes to deep emotions.
Yes,
Words do not get close to the way music gives us that beautiful experience.
That's right. You know, I remember someone said to me once, you know, in order to be able to reach the echelon of playing classical music, there's so much discipline involved, there's so much training involved, but I always love this phrase. They said, if you take that wall away, meaning the sheet music, take the wall away from that musician, now there's a one-on-one with that listener.
Yep.
And that communication, unspoken,
Yes.
is probably one of the strongest bonds.
And the most important one to experience. Now, if you don't experience it because you don't have a music program or you don't have a good support mechanism for the arts in the school, we are giving a disservice to our kids for the future.
What were the kids like?
Incredible.
This past couple of days?
Incredible. Really engaged and smiling. I said, if you smile, I'll give you $50. If you don't smile, you have to pay me $100. Because smiling and engaging in our body language is also what music taught me. When I was at Juilliard, we were all in a little box, but when I saw Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and Jimmy Page with his guitar swinging down by his knees, it's like, oh my God, there's a language of our bodies that it's connected to.
And Jimmy Page, of course, for those of us that are old enough, remember he's probably the first guitarist you ever saw take a bow.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
All of a sudden,
that
there
was
were these wonderful, incredible bowing things that he was doing. Yes, Dazed and Confused. We're dating ourselves. But,
sorry,
but that's okay. Now, the culmination of all of this happens Saturday, right?
Right.
Okay. So what do we got going on Saturday?
We have 2 performances. We have a 4 o'clock performance, which will include 5th graders up through 12th graders. And then we have a 7:30 performance, which will be the 7th graders, or 6th graders.
Middle school, high school.
6th through 12th. So we want to be a little early for the younger kids in case, their families needed to get home. But it'll be great. We're going to be having some pretty cool raffles.
Yeah.
There'll be why don't you tell about your contribution?
Company that builds electric violins is donating one of our violins.
Oh my God!
For raffle purposes. All the proceeds, 100% of the ticket sales and the raffle go towards the music program.
Right.
Wow! Think about what this means for a youngster. Get to perform, get out of the box, be able to form under the inspiration and the enlightenment of these guys, and be able to express yourself to an audience. This is at Saratoga High School.
Yep.
This Saturday, which is tomorrow.
Correct.
And one concert at 4.
Correct.
And the other concert at 7:30.
Correct.
The older kids are at 7:30. Right. This is something you have to do, not only because it's a very rewarding experience for anyone to come and listen to this, but also to show support for the students, to let them know it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to express yourself.
Yes.
Get out of the box and let's have a little fun with this. Thank you so much for coming in, both of you.
Thank you, Jesse. It's been great.
There were interviews and then there were interviews, and this is just one. Now look, we have a treat for you. In case you haven't noticed what Mark is holding here, this is a customized violin that he actually makes. 7 strings as opposed to the 4. And of course, all kinds of very interesting things that he does. We're going to be back later in the program, and he's going to perform. But for now, we're going to sign off. See this interview again, please head to our website, looktvonline.com.